There are people who quit loudly, they announce it, they explain it, and then there are those who quit quietly. No one notices, no one asks. This is the story of a boy from a small village who almost became one of them. In a small village where the earth stained your feet red and evenings arrived with the smell of firewood, there lived a boy named Elijah. He did not own much. What he had were bare feet, thin legs, and a heart that beat faster every time he saw a football roll across the red soil. Every evening, when the sun leaned low and shadows grew long, Elijah ran. He ran after balls made of tied plastic bags. He ran past laughter and teasing. He ran until his chest burned. Not because anyone asked him to, but because something inside him refused to be still. At night, Elijah lay on a woven mat beside his siblings. The roof leaked when it rained. The walls whispered when the wind passed through. But in his mind there were stadiums, crowds, a green field without stones. He kicked the air softly so he wouldn't wake anyone. His mother once asked him, half joking, "Will football cook soup?" Elijah didn't answer. He didn't know how to explain a dream that fed him in a different way. Elijah grew older. His legs grew stronger. But life did not grow easier. He began helping on farms, carrying loads, running errands. Some days he arrived late to play. Sometimes he didn't play at all. When other boys joined a local football team, Elijah stood outside the fence. They had boots, uniforms, someone to register them. Elijah had none of that. Only the same dream, now heavier than before. One afternoon, tired and hungry, Elijah missed an open goal. The boys laughed. One of them said, "Dreams don't feed people." Elijah walked home slowly. That night he didn't kick the air. He didn't imagine crowds. He stared at the ceiling. For the first time he wondered if quitting quietly would hurt less. Days later, Elijah returned to the empty field early in the morning, just to sit. An old man was already there, sweeping the ground. He watched Elijah silently. Then he said, "People think quitting is loud. It's not. It's usually very quiet." Elijah looked up. The old man continued, "Those who succeed are not always the best. They are the ones who stay." No applause followed, just silence. But something settled in Elijah's chest. From that day, Elijah began training alone, before sunrise, after sunset. He ran barefoot on rough ground, practiced control with stones as cones. No crowd, no praise, just consistency. Some days he failed badly. Some days he wanted to stop, but he returned anyway. The day the scout came, Elijah was not on the field. He was working on someone's farm. The sun was high, his hands were sore, his feet were dusty. That was when his friends came running. "Elijah! A coach has come from the city. They're selecting players." Elijah froze. Today? But his mother had already sent him on an errand. The farm owner was strict. Leaving meant losing work. For a moment Elijah stood still. Then he remembered the leaking roof, the woven mat, the nights he kicked the air quietly. He dropped the tools and ran. He didn't go home, didn't eat, didn't change. He arrived barefoot. The trial had already started. Players were warming up. The coach was watching. One of his teammates, Jesse, noticed his feet. Without a word, Jesse took off his boots and handed them to Elijah. They were loose, unfamiliar. But Elijah played, not perfectly, but endlessly. He ran longer than anyone else, recovered balls others gave up on, stayed calm when tired. The coach watched him closely. Not the goals, the refusal to disappear. At the end of the trial, names were called. When Elijah heard his, he didn't shout. He stood still, as if afraid the moment would vanish. Elijah was selected, not just to play, but to leave the village. He was taken to a football academy in a better city. Training, education, a place to stay, and support was sent home. When Elijah told his mother, she cried, not because of football, but because the roof would no longer leak. The mat would be replaced. The burden would be lighter. This story isn't just about football, it's about staying. Staying when nobody claps. Staying when progress is invisible. Staying when quitting would be easy and quiet. Never giving up doesn't always look heroic. Sometimes it looks like returning alone, barefoot, and that is often where everything changes. In life, there are moments when giving up feels reasonable, when effort goes unnoticed, when progress is slow, when the world seems louder than your dreams. Most people don't quit because they are weak. They quit because they are tired of waiting. But this story reminds us of something important. Not every reward comes quickly. Not every breakthrough announces itself. And not every open door looks open at first. Sometimes the most important thing you can do is stay. Stay when nobody is watching. Stay when applause never comes. Stay when the results are still far away. Because growth often happens quietly, and the people who make it through are not always the most talented. They are the ones who refuse to disappear. Never give up. Not because it is easy, but because the moment you almost stop may be the moment everything begins to change.